Hey guys, it's LatroTD, and today we're going over 5 things I liked and 5 things I didn't about Total Drama All-Stars. Now, Total Drama All-Stars is yeah, I don't have to explain myself there. But it wasn't the worst season in the world, so yeah. I'm gonna talk about a few of the things I did like, and then I'll talk about some of the things I didn't and I would love to change. And in the end, I hope that I made someone happy with my opinions, because I know there's going to be someone out there who disagrees with almost all of them. By the time I'm recording this, if it's not out on the same day, it's my birthday, so happy birthday to me. With that being said, I think it's easy enough to get into the video. Alright, let's start with the first thing I did like. Concept of all the best players coming together for a season is really fun, and while they did execute it poorly, I think with having to write all these characters who everyone loved, yeah, I could see how that would be hard to do without making it so everyone feels robbed of the win. So I get that they kind of read out some characters badly just so they would have an easier load off later on in the season. I think anyone experimenting with this kind of format could be fun, and I love experimenting with it with Total Drama YouTubers. I honestly think I love callbacks, and I think that's why I love the concept of All Stars. Alright, with that, I'm gonna keep all this short, and we're gonna move on to the first thing I didn't like. Next up, I didn't like the cast. Honestly, the writers were really only out for drama. They really didn't even follow their own concept. Honestly, some characters like Duncan, Courtney, Heather, Mike, Zoe, and Scott and Joe and Lightning, they all bring drama wherever they go. They were good fits for the season. But characters like Gwen and Cameron, I would consider adding them to the cast if I wrote the season. And characters like Sam and Sierra should not have been in the season. Reason why I'm considering Gwen and Cameron to not be in the cast is because, well, Owen got the same, like, he won the first season, but he didn't qualify for All Stars, but Cameron did, and that's kind of where my issue stands, because Cameron won his first season, and Gwen had only made the merge once up until All Stars, and yeah, I really don't know if that's really All Star material. And Sam and Sierra, we can all agree they should not have been in the cast. Honestly, if I could choose what characters to replace them with, for Sam and Sierra, I have 2 male and 2 female options for each. For Sierra, I could see her either being replaced with Bridget, Lashana, Owen, or Cody. And that isn't just my bias for these characters, I do actually think they could be good in an All-Star season. For Sam, I'm thinking B, Brick, Anne Maria, or Dawn. Honestly, if you're only gonna have one between Sam and Dakota in the season, then just don't have either of them because they're uninteresting without each other, I'll be honest. Yeah, that's all I really had to say. The cast could have been formatted better. When it comes to how some teams are formatted in Total Drama, there's normally that one character I can't wait for them to get out. But honestly, this season I loved all the characters on the villain as vultures. Mostly because of characters like Duncan and Heather and Alejandro and Scott. But there are a few others that I did still enjoy this season. Like Lightning and Joe, and I did not like one this season, that's all I'm gonna say. Honestly. But aside from Gwen, who was decent this season, really liked a lot of the characters on the villain as vultures. They really, and I mean really, gave like the definition to Total Drama with how much these motherfuckers did not like each other. Seriously, how much do you want to bet these guys would throw each other off of a cliff for $10? I just love how the villains were formatted, honestly. I know this quite literally contradicts what I just said earlier. And you know what? That's a good segue into my first reason why I did not like Gwen this season. She kept contradicting herself either from prior seasons or from just in general. Saying, oh, Duncan wasn't Courtney's boyfriend at the time. You yourself said, you know what? I might as well just play the clip.
The moment I finally become friendish with Courtney, I kiss her boyfriend. Evil kisser status? For the last time, Duncan and Courtney were over before he and I started. You can't steal a boyfriend if the boy is free.
I'm honestly not even going to be petty and play every single clip that comes to mind, because this video would be half an hour long than otherwise, honestly. But honestly, she kept contradicting herself, and aside from that, she was so whiny too. Like, damn. You wanted to be Courtney's friend so badly, you decided to become her with how whiny you were being. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Honestly, I just don't like how annoying Gwen was this season. Yeah, that's all I have to say, honestly. Yes, I'm biased, I don't care. Duncan was a good character this season. His only bad episode was Moon Madness. When you think about it, and so many people say, oh, Duncan broke out of his stereotype. Duncan became nice for no reason. Duncan was always nice. And breaking out of his stereotype, even if that is the case, which yes it is, I love when characters break out of their stereotypes. And this is my video, so I get to say what I want. And I love when characters break out of their stereotypes because it shows more depth to them. It makes them feel human and not just characters to enjoy. It's why I love Lindsay in Action. It's why I love Heather's friendship with Cody in World Tour. It's why I love Duncan in All Stars. Stuff like that makes me love characters. And to all the people who are saying Duncan is bad in All Stars, you cannot tell me you weren't happy or felt at least a little bit of joy to see Chris finally get karma for what he did to everyone throughout Total Drama, honestly. And who do you have to thank for that? Duncan. Honestly, it's really, and I mean really dumb when I hear people say, oh, Duncan is a shitty character. This is honestly just becoming into a rant on why I love Duncan, so I'm just gonna stop here. The next thing I want to talk about is the merge cast. Now, this has a lot of stacked players. The reason I don't like it is, you know what do you notice if you look at all this group together and think of their similarities? You know what I notice? That half of them were previous finalists. You know damn well that half of this cast aren't winning, so that already leaves only 4 contestants who are legitimately candidates to win. Honestly, I would have rather, cut out Cameron and replace him with Sam for fuck's sake. Like, why? I get it's an all-star season, but don't have half of the fucking merge cast be previous finalists. That makes shit boring. I guess they realized this and had 3 of these 4 finalists be the first 3 boots of the merge, but this shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. You should have honestly gotten rid of one of the previous finalists in order to prevent something like this from happening. This is an issue with All Stars that I really don't like. I really don't. This is one of the reasons All Stars is one of my least favorite seasons, and I'm glad I hopefully made it better with my way. Because what the hell, bro? I just went on a long ass rant with Duncan, so I'm keeping this brief. The merge cast was stupid. It was stupid. I found Mike's story this season really compelling. Like, it made you actually feel for the guy. I know a lot of people are fans of him, and that much I understand, but you cannot tell me you didn't feel some kind of pain to see all these personalities of Mike just die. Like, they just died. He got all their abilities and stuff, so they kind of live on within him, but still, it hurts. It hurt to see, honestly. when I rewatch All Stars, this is the episode I most look forward to, aside from the episode where Duncan blew up Chris's cottage, because I love the ending to this story. It wasn't half-assed, it wasn't forced, it was just an ending that Mike deserved. An ending that I love. The writers did something good with it, honestly. And while I could keep going on about how I love Mike's story, all I'm gonna sum it up to is it kind of feels like a video game plot, and that much I love. And because I'm a big video game nerd, so Mike's story reminded me of a video game. I love it, honestly. Aside from that, I think I could move on to the fourth thing I didn't like. Yeah, the reason I don't like almost every freaking character from this season is because how out of character these guys were. Seriously, I can, just off the top of my head, I can name only 4 characters I liked this season. And actually, no, those are the only characters I liked this season. Duncan, Mike, Scott, and Chris. Those are the only characters this season I liked. Everyone was either dumbed down to sound like they're just lost every damn brain cell in their head, or completely contradict themselves. Looking at you, Gothy. It's just, some of these characters are some of my favorites of all time, so it pains me to say this, but the All Stars made some of these characters annoying as hell, bro. At some point, since I know damn well Duncan wasn't gonna win, at some point I was rooting for Sam to win the whole goddamn season. Then Food Fight happened. Honestly, I just don't like so many of the characters in All Stars, and it pains me to say that since I love a good majority of these people, but no, just no. What they did with them was awful. Like, bro, honestly, I'm repeating myself at this point. I'm just gonna stop before I go on another long rant. Hands down, the best character this season. Honestly, he was funny, he played the game, he made top 3. Bro, Scott deserved to win this season. Bro, the original finale was fucking ass, bro. I just do not, and I mean do not like the fact that they robbed this man so goddamn hard, bro. Honestly. And I get some people are like, oh, there's no realistic way for Scott to be either Zoe or Mal. I'm gonna stroke it. Anyway. Yeah, to the people who say that, bro, honestly, I feel like, well, yes, you're being realistic. I feel like somehow Scott will pull the win. Don't know how, and don't care much. But still, Scott really should have won the season. He was the best character. He he is the only reason I can watch All Stars past episode 7, honestly. So thanks Scott for that at least. If you don't like Scott, then that's fine with me. He's one of my personal favorites though, and it's because he made All Stars a tolerable season. Honestly, I'm just gonna move on to the last thing that I don't like, because I'm just about ready to end this video. Okay, I took a little bit of a breath before I started recording this, because I know I was gonna get angry if I had just immediately done it after recording the last one. I just did not and will not ever like this episode. This is the worst episode in the history of the show. It should burn in hell, honestly. I just hate it, bro. The fact I was actually rooting for Courtney, not literally just an episode earlier, I started rooting for Courtney for the first time ever. And what happens? This piece of crap episode comes to fruition. And first off, this came out of nowhere. This was not planned at all. No one had planned for this. They just wanted a smart way to write out Courtney. If you wanted a way to write out Courtney without making it feel forced, just say Mike talked to Zoe about voting out Courtney due to Courtney and Gwen's strong friendship, and Zoe agrees to this because she's never been that close to Courtney. And then Mal could have made the list and say Courtney made it. That is a much, and I mean much, better way to write the episode other than, oh, Courtney was planning this from the beginning. With no sort of foreshadowing. This was a bullshit episode. And I was going to put something else, but then I remembered I didn't complain about this episode. No one complains about All Stars without complaining about this episode, so I'm doing it too. I don't even care. You know, the sad part is, after this, the only one I even remotely wanted to win was Scott. Gwen, she already won, and I didn't care for her anyway. She was shitty this season. Zoe, you were Lindsay 2.0 this season. Like, what? And Mal, I sometimes root for the main antagonist, but no, just no. This was... No, I did not like this episode. I never will like this episode. And if anyone tries to get me to watch this episode again, I will beat the shit out of them. If I were to ever rewatch this episode, trust me, I am holding a stress ball while I do it. This episode was fucking annoying. With that, that's 5 things I liked and 5 things I didn't like about Total Drama All-Stars. And that's 5 things I liked and 5 things I didn't like about Total Drama All-Stars. It was fun making this video in the beginning, but as I started to get to the things I really didn't like, I got really angry, honestly. But all in all, this video was really fun to make. I would do this video with other seasons, but I liked a lot of the other seasons, and the only one I could think that I could say somewhat anything about is Pocket 2, and I don't even like 5 things about Pocket 2. There's literally only like 2 or 3 things about Pocket 2 Island I liked. So, all in all, this is like a one-off video. I won't make this into a series. But speaking of series on my channel and Pocket 2 Island, Total Drama Pocket 2 YouTubers Island, well, Total Drama YouTubers Pocket 2 Island is going to be coming out soon, so be ready for that. Also, what do you think of the new design I have? I want it to be like some sort of a callback to the first design I had. So with that, goodbye.